Okay, so I'm going to go through how to set up the Suhr Midi controller. It's this little tiny unit. The first thing I did, this is for the Friedman JEL amp. All I'm doing is using the FM3. And by the way, I can't believe Suhr does not have there's nothing out there to show how to set this up, and there's nobody doing this, which is astounding. Using the FM3 and the 4-cable method, 4 effects, and I wanted to be able to switch amp channels, so I had to get a MIDI controller. And so once I figured out the routing, that looks like this. And the first thing we did was took the tip ring sleeve, which is from the front of the amp foot switch input, and I took a paper clip and I put it from the tip to the sleeve and then to the ring and saw which channel it was on. We determined it was on channel 2. So from there, I'm adding, basically, let's go through the routing. MIDI out, MIDI in, TRS to your foot switcher, okay? And then here you just create a MIDI block, and it doesn't have to have the cable routing, it can be anywhere. Now here's the tricky part, which isn't really that tricky. All you have to do is make type PC, channel 1, because in here we saw that all the dip switches were off. So I guess that means we're on channel 1. That's the way it is, that's the way it came. And then value 1 is for channel 1. And then for my scene 2, I wanted that to be a solo channel, and value the second value. Now here was the tricky part. I started going on to command. You stay on the same command the whole time. So channel 1 the whole time. And then if I want channel 1 on the amp, it's 1. And if I want channel 2 on the amp, it's 0. I didn't create that. It's just kind of default how it's talking to the amp. And that's really all there is to it. So again, scene 1 is channel 1, and it looks like that. Scene 2 is channel 2, and it looks like that. It stays on the channel 1 there. That has nothing to do with the amp channel. The value has to do with the amp channel. For me, that would be confusing, but thanks to my buddy Steve, he walked me through it. So now you have a YouTube video on how to use the Suhr MIDI controller, and it's super small. I got to figure out how I'm going to Velcro it in there because I got this micro board, which works great. But that's it. Cheers.